Okay, can you hear
It's me.
Joss?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, yeah. Can you hear
Yes,
you
I
can
can
hear
hear you.
me? Oh my
Okay, good.
God. I literally
Yes.
I can't right now. I can't. Yeah. So that happened. I'm like, what the hell? I literally just a second ago when you saw me come in and say shit, 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 I did not have a microphone
Yeah.
connected to my laptop. And
Oh
then
my God.
I have a whole sticky note full of chaos that I was gonna share with you. And I had it in my hand and it's gone missing. It's gone. Like I don't even know. Like I
Well,
looked
it's part of the chaos.
I looked everywhere. Like I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. So that's happening. That happened. Also, you literally were texting me and you were like, "Hey, I'm gonna be 5 minutes late." And I'm like, "Hey, me too," because I was making dinner for my kids ahead of time.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
Okay.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, my power goes out.
Oh my God.
And like that happens to you too quite a bit.
Yeah,
So it's so frustrating.
it is. It is. It is because you're trying to hurry up, make everything just to make it on time. Power goes out. You can't make it. Your kids are going crazy because, there's nothing there to entertain them.
Right, like I literally I'm like I don't sugarcoat things ever usually especially with my kids. So, I'm kind of like a realist, I guess. So, I mean, there's always a gentle parenting touch, but like, sometimes I don't really have it in me to be gentle and parenting combined. So, it doesn't
Yeah.
it's gentle, but not when I'm parenting. So, I was literally like my middle and my youngest, they just instantly the power goes out and then they turn into a bunch of a-holes. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like this is the last thing. Like nobody wants to be without power. Nobody wants to be without internet. Nobody wants to not be connected to the internet. Like
Yeah.
please don't make this harder on me. I'm already myself having a hard time. So like don't make it harder on all of us. Don't touch each other. Don't talk to each other, you know. And then I went outside because there was like a gentle breeze and it kind of gets stuffy really fast. Like I'm living in a concrete box because I'm in Florida.
Yeah.
And so like I went outside, I'm breathing and I'm like, I should probably do something fun with my kids. I should probably like get the board games out and the cards and like, I went into survival mode, like hurricane storm season,
Yeah.
survival mode. And then I was like, yeah, they'll never mind. Forget it.
It happens. It happens. You're human. I mean, come on.
I'm like, I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me right now. I'm like, I'm over
Some,
it.
sometimes you don't. And that's why I was like, don't stress about like connecting. If we can't, we can reschedule. Don't worry about it. Because yeah, I've been there. I've been there.
Do you know I literally got in my car and drove until in the pouring rain until I
Oh
got
my
to a
God.
place till I got to a place where I could actually get internet, which wasn't too far out of my zone. But
Okay.
then I'm voice texting, so that and then I like pulled over because I'm like this
Yeah.
isn't safe. And
Right.
then and then I'm thinking this leads me to my other chaos without my chaos notes on my sticky notes. I'm like I'm gonna have to just freeball it here for a second. But
Go ahead.
I'm
Yeah.
starting a brand new job in like 2 days,
Yeah.
and it's all virtual, and I'm going to be remote. So I have, yeah, so that like is very complicated. I have complicated feelings are coming up right now because all of a sudden,
Your
you know,
power just went out.
my
Yeah.
power went out, and so then therefore I have no internet, and so therefore then I'm already now in problem. I'm a problem solver, so most people obviously go into problem solving mode eventually, but like I am like an immediate problem solver, which can be somewhat sometimes annoying for people that know me because maybe you just want me to listen and I'm actually like in immediate problem solving mode and you're like, no, as my friend, I just need you to listen. And it's like, I have to stop myself from going into problem solving mode. But I was like literally
Mhm.
driving, voice texting, pouring down rain, thinking like, and then all my brain went immediately to my remote job. And then like, this might become like an actual thing that actually happens. And I'm like,
Yeah.
am I going to be working out of the, closest fast food restaurant, out of, am I going to be going all the way down to like Starbucks, to like,
Right.
how far am I going to be working, like, where am I,
No, it's good. It's good to have a backup plan. You don't want to. it's better that that happens to you now without being on the clock than it happening because you already know when it if it does come to happen, hopefully it doesn't, but if it does,
It
you'll
will.
already know
Yeah.
which one's the closest location, how far is it, can you get there, can you connect your computer to your cell phone Wi-Fi while you're on the road,
Yeah.
like going towards this location. So yeah, it's smart thinking if you ask me.
Well, I think it's good. Sorry, I'm a little bit like got a little I'm fighting something off again.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say that like being having backup plans when you said that backup plans are good, but I feel like if you live in a backup plan, like always in a backup plan, like that's probably not as healthy, like I try to
Yeah.
you get like I remember when I had younger kids, like I always had backup plans, like I had like full backpacks like packed with like extra clothes because like you have like one disastrous moment at a park or on the road and naked kids sitting in the back of your car. So it's like you're like never again. So you're like always have like changes of clothes, changes of shoes.
Yeah.
Which also leads me to another piece of chaos is I'm also still working at the resort
Right.
and I had to let them know that I'm not my availability has changed, and so
Yeah.
I haven't had a full-time job in a very long time because when I got pregnant and had my first child, I went to part-time. I've always been part-time freelance, that even when I was still in radio, I was part-time. I've
Yeah.
never not worked, but I haven't been full-time since a long time ago. So
Wow.
that's going to be like a whole adjustment.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I'm still working at the resort and I had to let them know like my availability changed. I'm not going to be available during the week, but I can like pick up or they can put me on the schedule on the weekends. And the last time I was working, I was so follow me on this one. We have an iPad, and so that's how they have it all set up for us to like seat people, and that's how we keep track of everything.
Okay.
And so someone came in because it's right on the beach. Someone came in and dumped their sandy shoes out in the front of the resort entryway to the restaurant, which I thought
Okay.
was kind of a whole move, but I
Yeah.
didn't realize I saw them doing something, but I didn't realize what they were doing until I went around. So I went to the manager, who's somewhat new, and said, "Can I have like the handheld vacuum? Because they have a cleaning service that comes in and like does the major cleaning." And he said, "Yeah, make sure you dump it out." And I'm like, "Okay." So I looked at this handheld vacuum, and there was no like easy way without touching it, which is kind of gross, because it's a vacuum and it's public area. There was no
Yeah.
like easy like figuring it out. And so I decided to, before going to like a busser or someone that maybe would be able to assist me, I decided to get on the Google machine and Google how do you release a Bissell handheld vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, a window pops up, and then another window pops up, and another window pops up. Well, I didn't have my bifocals on. I just like, because that's kind of where I'm at right now too. And I just clicked like X out. And all of a sudden it's like, warning, warning, your stuff is going to have a virus. We're going to shut you down. Your life is going to be a disaster. You know what I'm talking about? Like the
Yeah.
cyber
Yeah.
attack things. And I was like,
Yeah.
it was so loud. I was like, shit. I just ruined the system. I fucked everything up. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be in so much trouble because they don't want you on your phone. They don't want you doing. But like
Yeah.
all the younger girls definitely are on the iPad doing stuff, like playing games. So I had to like X all that out before I even went to like Safari to like search this, so I could like be productively figuring things out on how to empty
Right.
this stupid handheld vacuum. Because I thought, look at me, I'm so cool. I'm gonna figure this out on my own. And then that happened, and I was like, I had to turn the volume all the way down, and I was like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? How to get out of this? And so then I went into the office looking for there's a guy that like does everything for the resort, and he's very grounded. He's like a yogi. He's almost like a Buddha master. You know what I'm saying? He's got that kind of
Yeah.
Zen energy. And I just and he does everything. Like he plants and he's takes care of everything. And I was looking for him and he wasn't in like the downstairs office. And so then the reservation specialist was like, "Can I help you?" And I was like, uh, because she's also a part of the host team. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, I kind of need some assistance at the iPad because I kind of was doing this and this is what happened. And then she's like, oh. And then she couldn't figure it out. So she went and got the guy that I was looking for. So follow me on this one. So he comes and he goes, where's the home button on these new things? I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, how do I swipe out of this? I'm like, oh, I know how to do that. And so we figured out how to swipe out of it and it went away and it didn't like take down the whole like system. And I looked at him and I said, I was freaking out, like literally freaking out. It wasn't as bad
Yeah.
as like a normal freak out, but like it was like, I'm gonna get fired.
Like,
Like,
shit.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he goes, he looks at me and he goes, he goes, don't freak out. You never need to freak out. He's like super zen because everything's already been decided for you. This is all a
Oh,
lesson.
wow.
This is all a learning lesson. You already chose this, and this was already going to happen. So just breathe. And I'm like, goosebump, fraba. Like I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, you're so grounded. I thought I was kind of grounded, but apparently I'm not. Only,
Yeah.
like, and he's
That
like,
is so
and
amazing.
he's just like, just remember, everything's already been chosen. You're here to like, these are your lessons. And I thought, holy shit. Like,
He kind
okay.
of just stopped you in your place. Wow.
Isn't that amazing? Like, think about it though. Have you ever had, I mean, because I'm doing a lot of talking here, which is normal, but like,
No, yeah, like one of those freak out moments and then having someone like ground you like that, that is amazing. I've never thought about it in that way. Like that
no,
perspective.
no.
Wow.
And then
Yeah.
and then later, like he came back into the office and I said, thank you for that. I really appreciate those words that you said. I mean, because I respond positively to that sort of thing. And I've always just done my work on my own. And some of the work that I have been doing the last few years, I've sort of like not taken a break, but it's just sort of gone to the wayside a little bit. Because I think that happens in life, right? Like you do
Yeah.
maybe therapy with a therapist, a talk therapy, and then you take a break for a while because it's not really doing this trick anymore. Or um, maybe you're doing one style of workout, and then you got to change it up because maybe it's not doing the trick. So I was doing a lot of breath work and a lot of grounding and a lot of like, you know, holistic type stuff. And I've just kind of like, just it's just been on the wayside. So it kind of just gave me a nice reminder that, and
Mm.
also just I needed to hear that just in
Hmm.
general. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just in general.
Well,
And
thank you for passing it on too.
yeah. And then he came in back in the office and I thanked him again. And then he said, I just want you to know that like you already knew that you were going to need this. You already knew that you were going to need to ask for this. And
Oh man.
I was like, like I was just yeah. So just sharing that.
So there's a wise old Yoda hiding in the resort where you did
Yes,
this.
yes, there is.
Yeah.
Yes, totally. That's a
Wow.
really good like. He is Yoda. Oh my gosh, because I do have like characters for everybody. And
Yeah.
remember, I told you. Shh, they might be listening. People are starting to notice that we have a podcast because.
Oh, really? That's great.
Yeah, I
That's
know,
great.
but
Yeah.
and so yeah, so he's the Yoda. He's the Yoda
That's
master.
awesome. That is awesome.
Anywho, I'm trying to think about like what else. Like, oh, I was thinking, having. Um, do you have any chaos before I keep going?
I mean, not chaos, but some experience things. But go ahead. Uh, I mean, besides the whole like trying to feed my kid and my dad before I jumped on, and I was like, I'm trying not to be late, but I might be late, like whipping everything up.
As I'm like an hour and a half late now.
Yeah, that when you said that, I'm like, what? Don't stress. Don't stress. It's fine.
See? Don't stress. Don't stress. Just you're good. I
Fine.
I think sometimes stress it's like problem solving mode that I go into. It's like
Yeah.
but I feel like that's like I can't just sit. I have to do. And so
Yeah.
therefore like so I don't stress out or I don't freak out, I have to like problem solve. Because I
Yeah.
feel like the freaking out is going to be a natural reaction, but problem solving is productive,
Right.
right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm making sure my microphone is closer to me. So like I feel like problem solving is productive, and that means it keeps you in a forward motion instead of getting stuck and stagnant, right? So
Yeah.
and just like having a freak out. I mean, it's good to have emotion. It's good to like, but then it's like, what do you do moving forward? You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, here we're getting deep. Um, I'm nervous about I'm nervous about starting my full-time job.
That is exciting.
It is, but I'm nervous because I'm going back into radio, which
Yeah.
I have 20 plus years of experience.
Hmm.
I'm going to one of the largest, biggest conglomerates, like media outlets there is in
Congratulations.
US, and I'm not sure if I can say anything because I don't know if it's like if I'm bound to not say anything, but I eventually will like share.
Okay.
Um, but I'm going into like a whole different arena in an arena that like I'm going into a different sector,
Yeah.
so I'm not necessarily going to be on the air per se. I'm going to be going to a whole new sector. So that's interesting. So I'm going to have to, and then I'm going to be working 40 hours. But I said to my husband, the man babe, I was like, if I'm going to work a 40-hour work week, I'd rather do it from home where if I
Right.
get sick, I can at least like maybe limit the number of days I'm not able to work. Like when I was so sick in January, I was out for like a month. Maybe if I
Hmm.
had been able to work from home and, that would have been, and then like I'd still be able to get paid because when you're relying solely on voiceover, if you get sick, that severely impacts
Yeah.
your business. And then like if I have a sick kid and I also have a special needs kid, like things come up. So then I'll be able to still be mom and operate what I got happening in the home front so
Right.
that going back to work full time, maybe well, it's already going to have a huge impact on the family in a positive way financially, but also it won't totally take me out of the game versus if you are working 40 hours and you have to like leave the
Mm.
home and drive an hour or 30 minutes away, that takes a whole different context.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's completely different. And I love this for you. It's a great opportunity. Really.
Yeah. And it is kind of like what we've talked about with Angela. It's parallel to what we're
To
doing
what
with,
you're doing.
yeah.
Yeah, and you don't know what's going to come out of it. I mean, you could have new opportunities, or like it could be a gateway to something even bigger, or I don't know. There's just I don't know. So much can come from it.
Yeah, and it's like now I have, at the resort, I was a flexible part-time schedule and but now I'm not going to be spending money in gas driving, 45
Right.
minutes to the coast and sometimes an hour and a half back because of traffic because I live so far inland. And then it's also saving time, like I said, that if I get sick or the kids get sick and I can't work, I can't physically go to work, then at least like
Right.
I might still be able to have the opportunity to get some work done or maybe limit the number of days that I can't work because, you know, I'm
Yeah.
home working from home remotely, so that's a positive. And then it's a 40-hour work week, so I'll be getting consistently paid and then I can still manage Blake's voiceover career and it's still, I'm still managing with everything else. And then also I'll be able to manage my own voiceover career.
Yeah.
The only downfall of taking a 40-hour full-time job is the on-camera
Yeah.
stuff. We talked about this over the phone.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna have to be a little bit more selective and I'm gonna have to give myself the full 90 days to really see like how this
Exactly.
impacts my family, myself, my business, and um and again, like the on-camera stuff though, that's what I was gonna tell you, is I booked a large groceries
Oh
store
my
chain.
God.
So yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. So that, and I had, with one of my agents that I just recently signed with, like at the end of the summer, early fall. So,
Yeah.
and they're like a boutique agency and, really hands-on, so, um, yeah, that was exciting. And then I had booked a background with my youngest and my middle. I think I
Yeah.
shared with you guys. And so
Hmm.
that all happened. But like before that, and I had booked in January, but I was sick and I had to decline. So
Yeah.
I've January, February, March, I booked something, but like I hadn't booked anything since like April.
Right.
I'd been getting self-tape requests, which is like you submit for a job, and then if they're interested in you, then they give you a self-tape request. And
Yeah.
then like if they're like gonna like if you're shortlisted, it's kind of like it's kind of like shortlisting, I feel like when you get like a self tape. kind of. And then like if you I've been getting avail checks and stuff like that, but I haven't booked anything. And so, you know, it might still be manageable to work a full-time job.
Definitely. I mean, you'll still be able to audition. You might be a little more selective, but you will still be able to audition.
Oh, totally. I just don't know how, like if I book something, it's just so,
Well, you'll figure it out then. And don't stress.
don't stress. That's right.
It's
It's already written and
it's already written.
it's already been written. It's already
Exactly.
been created. Like this challenge has
You
already been
already
formulated.
chose this.
I did choose this, which brings me to my new motto is is I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I like, I put words to like sort of my energy that you know, I'll figure it out. I'm just gonna have to figure it out because if I can't just sit stagnant. Like I have to, you have to pay the bills, you have to take care of your family.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
in that transitional period where I have older kids
Yeah.
and, they can survive an hour or two with me being at the resort and on my way home after school, but I have a kid going into college and I have another kid that's finishing up braces and another kid about to go into braces. And, their kids they have to eat. You have to feed them.
Yeah.
Like you were making dinner for your son
Right.
and your dad.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to dress them as well and
Yeah, they have to do stuff, like they need things. So,
activities. Yeah.
yeah, and it also like helps like contribute to the overall, family
Household income.
finances.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So that was Oh my God, speaking of making food. I was making this thing we call spicy sausage and beans with rice. It's like super simple. It's almost like
Okay.
college food, you know? You make a big
Yeah.
pot of rice and then you cut up like the already like pre-made sausage
Mm.
that's already like kind of cooked. You just have to warm it up. And then I add like a big can of chili beans to it and then
Ooh.
spices and
Yeah.
and then it's like so it's pretty simple. And the can of beans that I had bought had no beans. It was just the sauce. I
What?
was like, what the hell?
Oh, it's just sauce?
Just the sauce.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
I'm like, how does this even happen? I'm like, should I even use this? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, what is this? There's like zero beans, like no
No.
beans. Yes.
Are they trying to cut back
I
on
don't
my
know. I think it was like obviously a manufacturing
Yeah,
issue, but like I
that
was
is
like
so funny.
I was like, did that just happen? That really literally just happened. Has that ever happened to you? Or do you probably make beans from like do you soak
Yeah,
them?
no, yeah, it's from scratch. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably should do that too. I should probably make my own beans. My own bread. Do you make your own bread?
I don't, but my neighbor does, and so I buy the bread off from her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty convenient.
I
Do
know.
you
Every Thursday I get new bread and
really?
cookies. Yeah.
Cookies and bread? I want a
Yeah,
neighbor like that.
I know. It's so awesome. It's so cool.
Do you have someone who gets
So,
you
so cool.
eggs?
Um, I mean, there are a couple of places where we can get eggs and they can deliver them to your house if you want.
Yeah, we have those too.
Yeah.
Like farm. Yeah. So anyways, and now that I think I've gone through like my whole sticky note, but I know that I'm missing something because I just know I am. I just absolutely know I'm missing like some sort of chaos. But I had like so many different pieces of chaos. I definitely think that like my middle was like making fun of me, because like when we were sitting here with no power, he was just like, "Oh, I know what happened. We went and saw the latest Marvel movie. It was not Ca yeah, Captain America. Was it the Captain
Oh
America
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
with Harrison
Harrison
Ford is
Ford.
the
Yeah.
Red Hulk or whatever, and it was okay. Like I thought it was good, but like there was not enough Red Hulk in it. And then so we went out to a movie. It was over spring break and went out to a movie and dinner with my youngest, my middle. My oldest doesn't do anything with me anymore. He has his own life, even though he lives underneath my roof of my house and eats my food. Like I never see him. But which that's the way it's supposed to be. But so we went out to eat and we were all talking and they have this like whole language. It's like I forgot what it's called, but it's like this whole like street lingo or like kid lingo or something where it's like, there's these words like skibbity
Um,
and
oh yeah.
riz and like that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, right? And I it's called something. It's not like slang. It's like got a whole different word for it. I'm gonna have to Google
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I saw a post about it this
Did you?
morning.
Okay.
Yeah, let me see if I saved it.
And so I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna make up my own words then, because like, I'm gonna make up my own lingo, because you guys are like so cool. And then they were like, oh my God, what is going on? So I made my own cool words. So
Okay.
I was like, yeah, that's glass. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's glass. And they're like, what does that mean? I'm like, that's sharp. And they're like, so weird. And then I was like,
They're like a mom cringe.
mm-hmm.
Cringe.
I was like, I'm like, big teeth, big teeth. And they're like, what? I'm like, I'm like, that makes me so happy. Like big teeth because you have like,
I love it. Oh my God.
and then I'm like, that's snappy. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, and then I'm like, that's fantastic. And like, that means like, that's amazing. I'm like, that's snappy. And they're like, oh my God, stop it right now. But there's like a lingo. It's like Riz, skibbity, um,
FOMO,
and
right?
yeah,
Vote.
what's a vote? Or like that's
Yeah, FOMO, faux,
lock, like, yeah, that's lock. Like, we're gonna lock. I'm like, what does
yeah,
lock mean? And they're like,
yeah.
like lock it down. I'm like,
Or W, and then there's L. So like big W is like a big win, big L is like a big loss.
oh, really? No,
Yeah,
that's,
I remember that from this morning because I was reading it and I was like, oh, maybe I should save this. And then I
did you
didn't.
find it?
No, I don't think I
Ah,
saved it.
shoot.
I know it would have went so well.
There's like a whole, it's like, I'm gonna find out I'm gonna Google it. Hold on. What's the word for what is it? Gen X? No, Gen Z
Gen Z.
lingo.
Gen Z lingo. I think you can
Oil up.
that.
Oh my God, jeez, oh Pete. Okay. No cap. No
Oh yeah,
cap
cap and no
means
cap.
no lie.
Mm-hmm.
Hear that. Like if instead of like that's a response. So like if I'm like, okay, I need you to do X, Y, and Z, and they're like, hear that. It's not okay. Hear that. No cap means no lie for real. Sus, I knew that. Like that's like
Oh yeah.
suspicious. Slay,
Slay.
that's
Lit.
like you're excelling at something. Glow
Simp.
up. Simp, what does that mean?
It's like
Oh, to
like
impress.
yeah, when
Oh,
you're trying to impress.
like lit, that's fun. Lit for me was like I just drank a whole bunch of booze and got lit up. Like that's not like what exciting or fun.
Bougie.
Oh yeah. I know ghosted and bougie. Hits different, that
Yeah.
hits different. Like that is so funny, but there's like a whole like it's got like a term too. Look at us Googling. Look at us Googling teen slang.
Right?
Yeah. So anyway, I just was, they were just saying stuff, they were talking, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make up my own lingo. So there you go. I got my own lingo. And oh, my middle was like, you're such a boomer. I think I've said this before. I'm like, I am not a boomer. I am like a product of a boomer. And by
What?
the way, I'm a cusper. And he's like, what's a cusper? I'm like, I'm between like two generations. I'm
Yeah.
not necessarily a millennial, but I'm not necessarily like an
Gen
Xer.
X. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I'm like in between, like yeah. So I thought that was pretty funny.
He called you a boomer,
I'm like, I don't look like a boomer. That's like
right? No.
70s. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
like,
my dad.
right. Yeah, we're products of boomers. Like, what are you talking about? I'm not even a baby boomer.
Right?
Um, like what? I thought it was pretty funny. So, before I let you go, did you want to share any chaos? Because I got two more little tiny pieces,
Well,
but go,
okay,
go, go.
not chaos, but my friend, you know how I did an on-camera project with a friend of mine here?
Yeah,
It was for the university. Well, she called me up and she said, "Hey, I'm going to make another like program. Can you help me out with the acting?" And I was like, yeah, because it's so much fun
yeah.
to do." And so I did, and it was a lot of fun. And
Yay.
yeah, I just love it. I loved it. I was a woman who was in a mix where I was the one make like the breadwinner, and my husband was like years younger, and
Okay.
he just like all he did was sit around and do nothing, or that was my perspective. But in reality, what I didn't know was that he was going out to look for work, but nobody was hiring him.
Okay.
So it was like this dynamic of how we were going to work out our problem and save our marriage and stuff like that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Wow, you were a cougar.
What, yeah, I was a cougar.
Look at you. Arr.
Right? Oh my God. And the guy that the kid, he's a
The
kid. I don't
kid.
know. I see him and I'm like, you're a kid. The
Was
kid
he
that,
like
no,
was
he's in his 20s, but he just has this baby face,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the 20 or a lot of 20-year-olds have. And he just looks so innocent. So just like when I had to yell at him because I was so frustrated and about our situation and everything because I had just lost my job.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like frustrated that he wasn't working and that he couldn't like provide for the family. He just looked so innocent as I was like yelling at him. And so shocked because he had never done something like this before.
Right?
After they like said cut, I'm like, I am so sorry.
Oh my God. But that was good. It was like a natural, authentic reaction, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My dad was watching. He's like, you should have seen his face. His face was like he was so scared. I'm like, well, at least it was real.
Yeah, right? That was authentically real. Like you were in the
Yeah.
moment. You were like tapping in. That's good. That's amazing. That's so cool. I am like so happy for you. You've done a couple different things like for on camera, you know? So it's like once you get them underneath your belt, it's like, okay, I want more, you know? Like it's so
It is a
fun.
lot of fun. It's addicting. It's addicting. It really is. And then we had to like, after we saw shot that scene, there's another scene where I'm like speaking and like giving my perspective on how therapy has helped me. And so I'm sitting there with other patients and we're giving each other the story. It just felt so real and so comfortable. Like now I just feel so like
Yeah.
natural. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, it really helped me. Like I've
You were
never like
grounded,
yeah, I've never been in that type of marriage, obviously.
right? Well, but I mean, any kind of therapy is helpful, like that, you know. I mean, whether, yeah, I mean, it's helpful for all different kinds of situations. So, like,
Yeah,
and that's what the fun part about acting is that you don't know what kind of impact you're going to have on other people when you're, you know, like tapping into that character that you've been selected and like chosen to be, you know. So it's so
yeah,
fun. That
it is.
That reminds me of like when I went back to like the grocery store chain social
Yeah,
media and like you know it wasn't like a glamorous job, you know. I mean it wasn't like, you know, movie star role, but
right.
it was my role and I love it and I think it was so cool. But it was fun to get your hair and your makeup done, you know, and I had to bring clothes and like the night before I had to run to Walmart and I had to like run to like Target and Kohl's to like bring wardrobe, you know, they wanted you to bring additional wardrobe. Well, it turns out that I didn't really need to have anything because I was in a full like head to toe like giant like worker. Like I can't like
Oh
a
yeah, 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 yeah,
fork.
yeah.
Like I was like in what you would wear if you were like working in a giant refrigerator. Okay,
Okay.
so like gloves and hat and like full on like
Yeah.
bibs and like a big jacket, and they didn't have my size, and they only
Oh,
had one jacket and one bib, and
yeah.
that my counterpart, which was the male, okay, that was went ahead of me, was sweated the whole thing out, like
Ah,
sweated in the outfit, and
oh
then took it
nice.
off and I had to get into it
Uh-huh.
and then sweat myself the things we do. And I
Oh
was
man.
like, I just had, and then like, you know, you're in this like giant like freezer outfit that's like meant for like, you know, 0 or below because these giant
Right.
grocery stores have these off-site refrigerators and delis and bakeries that they make the stuff and store the stuff, you know, somewhere else and
Yeah.
then they ship it into the stores, you know, on a schedule. And so this was sort of um like a career type media type thing, you know. So
Okay.
I was showcasing like maybe a position that you would maybe fill. And so I was, you know, showing how much fun and excitement. And I'm like, but I literally can't move. And the outfit was so big, they had literally clipped like clipped. They used
The
like 20,
back.
20 clips all the
Oh
way up
my
and
God.
down and like in my shoulders and like tucking things in so it didn't look so big on me. And I had these big gloves on and I was like trying not to look awkward and like happy, and it was like, anyways, I was happy to take a shower after my 4 hour drive home
Yeah,
after
yeah, I
in
bet.
full makeup and hair and sweat. But I still had an amazing time and I thought it was so fun and I met some cool people. And that's the other part.
Mhm.
I'm sure you met some really cool people on set.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, the kid that was my partner, he's actually the one that was behind the camera.
Oh,
So he was shooting everybody else's, and then we needed a guy who was younger for me, and so he volunteered. So this
oh,
is like his first time like on camera, not behind the camera.
oh,
Yeah.
oh,
So
that's fun.
it was new for him. So but yeah, pretty cool because he what he does with his family is they shoot documentaries,
Oh,
marine wildlife documentaries.
did you tell him you're a voice actor and you voice
Yeah.
stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. And that you have like a whole like collection, a pool of people that are voice actors that you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I actually want to ask him if he can come on and we can like have him
Yes.
on as a guest.
That would be
I
amazing.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I have to see.
Yeah, that would be
Hopefully.
super cool.
Yeah.
That's how it works, right? Like when I was
Yeah.
on set talking to when I walked in, they were already kind of going with the project. So 'cause they like staggered our on set times when you had to like report at this production place up in Orlando or like near Orlando. And really quickly, like, there's their whole crew and photographer and everybody. And so I was kind of sitting off to the side. I got to know my counterpart and we
Yeah.
talked and his mom is like Miss World or Mrs. World and like had been like Mrs.
Wow.
Florida and like and yeah, and so like I followed her on social media and maybe we could get her on. That would be great to talk to.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And like we were talking and that's how he got into acting and stuff like that. He was following in his mom's footsteps and but he's also getting a real job like outside of being behind the camera or in front of the camera. He was getting, he was going to be doing some additional schooling. So, which is a whole nother conversation that I'd like to have with another guest that I'm like asking hopefully to come on. So we'll talk about,
Yeah.
hopefully they come on. I would like to talk about that because sometimes you do have to get another job outside of the booth and out, behind the camera to make
Mm,
this work. So,
yeah.
and not feel bad about it, right? Because
Right.
we've talked about that. I felt bad about having to do that and
Yeah.
feeling like I'm not like a full-time actor, but I am. You have to still pay the bills. So I digress. So anyway, so I eventually like throughout the day, you hurry up and you have to get on set and then you sit and wait and then you do hair and makeup and then you sit and wait and you 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 wait a really
Yeah.
long time and then they
Yeah.
stop production so that you can wait so everyone can eat lunch and then you wait and then you get on camera, so it's kind of like that. So I ended up sitting at the end of the day with, like the AD and the casting and I ended up chit-chatting and I said, yeah, I'm a voice actor. And they're like, wow, really? And I'm like, yeah. And then had a whole conversation with I think it was the AD and, or maybe she was actually the director. She didn't really like, you know, she was just, everyone was cool. Like no one was like,
Oh,
look
cool.
at me. And,
Yeah.
and I didn't ask, but so I told her how I got started in voiceover and where I went to train and how, like, the short version. And I said, you really should try out the voice actor studio. It's virtual, just it's not no skin off your back. Like it's a couple hours on a Saturday. It's not even, it's a very minimal amount of money to invest in to just get a great overview of voiceover so that you understand because it's not just about having a great voice or it's not just about doing a great character or whatever. Then there's so much to it. And then that's how I ended up getting into on-camera stuff, And I said, so you never know, like you said earlier, you never know when you start something or try something new where it's going to take you.
Yeah.
And so just like that whole networking and connecting and that's the fun part of being a voice actor is your voice is impacting someone's life and whether you know it,
Or not. Yeah.
or not, or on camera you're impacting someone. Um, so you're imprinting on them in some way,
Yeah.
in hopefully in a positive way. But, it's
Hopefully.
like, it's like not doing anything, just staying stagnant and saying, oh, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. Well, it's never going to be the right time. And fear is what's telling you it's not the right time. You just need
Yeah.
to do it and try
Hmm.
it as long as you're safe and everyone else around you is safe.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You know, like because you never know where it's going to take you. So, even though I am nervous about starting this new full-time job, which we'll have more conversations about later down the road as we wrap up tonight, um, I am excited because like you said,
Yeah.
you never know. And like look
You
at you
never know.
now. You're doing on-camera stuff. You know,
Yeah.
you got connected with a friend, told them you're doing voiceover. They said, "Oh, hey, do you want to try this?" And you're like, instead of being worried about it or afraid, you just did it.
I'm like, yes. I
Yeah,
told her, and I was like, any time you need this, yes, big yes. And she's like, okay, but I can't pay you. I'm like, I don't care.
right. It's really like sometimes you don't need to get paid. It's just for the experience.
It really is, and because I've never taken any courses or anything yet.
Yet.
Um,
Oh yeah, like
it's
acting.
really good experience. Yeah, like on-screen acting, it's really good experience.
Yeah,
Like getting directed and working with others and memorizing your lines and everything.
yes, absolutely. I'm gonna text the group really quickly, so keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, so that was a really great experience. And of course, I would love to come on anytime that she asks. I'm like, yes, yes, big yes. But you're right. Like you can't just you're never gonna be ready. And I was talking, one of my friends from Vegas came down and visited me, and what she does is she makes like these she sells succulents, but she also makes like the pots right out of clay. And she's really talented and everything. And now she wants to work on like a couple other projects. And she was talking to one of my friends who's an architect, wonderful architect. She is so talented. And on the side, she also designs lamps. And so they were having a whole conversation. And she told her something that really resonated with me was that you're never going to be ready.
I love
You
that.
really just have to jump and take the plunge.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
because if it feels scary and you talk yourself out of it, that's fear telling you that you're not ready, but really you're ready. You just have to do it. Don't let
yeah.
fear like talk you out of it. And then if in like, it's never too late to adjust or recalibrate or pivot or,
Yeah, and she's like, and mistakes are going to happen. They're going to happen all the time, whether you're ready or not, whether you're expecting them or not. And you're going to just have to learn as you're doing it, and you're going to learn.
hmm
That's the thing. You are going to learn. So just do it.
It was already written. You
It
already
was already written.
chose. You already chose.
You already
You
chose.
you'd already chose those lessons, those little hiccups and hurdles and bumps and twists and
Exactly.
turns. So you might as well just move through it so you don't have to do it again.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Okay. I'm gonna end right there.